Thank you, and welcome to everybody. I'm going to echo a lot of things that Will just shared, and say thank you to both Dan and Will and Marco and his agents and everybody that helped bring this to fruition and to get Marco here. Obviously, from the team perspective, we're ecstatic to add a player of Marco's quality and pedigree and his championship experience and to our group. We're excited to quickly as we can get the visa process done, get him integrated into this team and get him ready for the final stretch of the season and the playoff run, and looking forward to the impact that he can have on our group. I know, speaking for our locker room and our guys, we're really excited for this opportunity to have him in our team. So we're looking forward to what's in front of us, and we're looking forward to working with him and learning from him, but also working with him so we can get our team to the highest level we possibly can. So,
thanks, Greg. Marco?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Greg. It was really hard at this time, but I'm very, very happy that I'm here, really excited about the future. Yeah, with the team together, I think we have a great team. The future is bright, so I'm really, really happy that I'm here. And I'm just looking forward to play the games, to train with my teammates, and to enjoy this ride together.
Thank you, Marco. We'll now open up questions in person media. We'll go ahead and start with Jim Hill.
Yeah, Marco, Jim Hill, KCAL9 News. First of all, congratulations and good luck. What was it or what is it about the Galaxy that made you want to play with this team when you could have played with any team in the world?
Like I said, when I decide not to play anymore for Borussia Dortmund, I was thinking, okay, what can I do? And of course I spoke with my family, and of course I want to continue to play football, but my decision was to not play in Europe or in the Bundesliga. So the first contract was in May with the Galaxy, with Will, and yeah, it doesn't need so much time to make my decision. Was really, really good. The first impressions, the first feeling with the coach as well. So yeah, I did my decision very fast. So yeah.
We'll now go ahead with Scott French.
Hi, Marco. What had you seen of this team before arriving? What had you seen of the league and your impressions of that, and then just your impressions of being out and training with the players?
I actually saw a lot of games during my holidays. So at the moment we are, I think, in a good shape. I think there are 8 games left until the how can you call it, the playoffs begins. So at the moment everything is good, but it's a long way to get it done to win the championship. So I think we have to be focused game by game. And yeah, we will see. Very, very good. Like I said, I watched a couple of games. We have really, really good players, young players. Yeah, and I think for the future, for the next weeks, yeah, we have a good team.
Next, we'll go ahead with Damian Calhoun.
Question for Marco back here. You said you watched a couple of games. What's been your thought of the league itself, Major League Soccer?
It's difficult to say. I think I have to play first, and then I can say what I think about the league. But I think still they have really, really good players, like in this team, and of course in other teams as well. So I think the standard is good. Like I trained the first time today with the team, so the standard was really high. I was not impressed because I know some players from this team, and they are very good, very young, very talented. So it's good so far.
And then Will, he said the first contact was in May, and here we are in August. That's a long process. Can you sort of walk us through this process? And were there moments where either you or Marco's team were going to pivot to another direction?
Well, I can't speak for Marco's team because I imagine at some point they probably got a little frustrated. But you know, in MLS, it's not as simple as just saying, "Okay, we want to sign you There's issues with discovery rights, so there was another team in the league that had dibs on Marco, so we had to deal with them. And then, when you sign a player of Marco's caliber and it's not a designated player contract, there's a lot of hoops and disclosures that you have to go through with the league in drafting this. There's a lot of disbelief, right? Sort of assuming that we must be paying money under the table somewhere. And one person who I forgot to thank earlier was Dan Beckerman and our ownership from AEG. But Dan was tremendously involved in negotiation as well, and helping make sure that we push the league at all times to get there. So normally you're worried about having to convince a player to show up, but in this case we actually always really comforted by the fact that Marco had reached out to us and that we felt confident that we could reach an agreement.
We'll go ahead with a question for John from Fox Deportes.
Marco, welcome to Hollywood, man. Do you have any concerns about the weather here in the U.S., different weather, different time zones, different pitch? All that stuff, is that a big concern for you?
We will see. Until now, of course, it's different weather, like in Germany, but it's better this weather than just twice a week sunny day. But besides this, of course, I have to know each other from the team and everything around the club. So I'm not worried about it. Of course, I need a couple of times to get in, to have training sessions with the team, and but I'm really looking forward to.
What about the artificial pitches? Does that bother you or no?
Sorry?
The artificial.
Synthetic fields.
We haven't told them about those yet.
I never told you about the artificial pitches. Okay, that's going to be fun, I guess.
Yeah, of course, yes.
Next, we'll go to Alex Ruiz.
Hi, Marco. Alex Reus with the Galactic Tribune. Once again, welcome to LA. I just want to ask you, what do you want your legacy here to be at LA Galaxy? I think you've mentioned before this might be your final journey in your footballing career. What do you want your legacy to be at this club?
So, of course, I'm not the youngest guy anymore, but I want to help the youngest player as well, that they are growing up, is getting better every day. The small things in football are very important. How you prepare you for the game, after the game. And then, of course, I think the goal is for this club to win championship and to be successful, with the organization, with the club. And like I said, it is just, I think, 10 years. The last time we won the championship, so the time is now, and I'm ready. I think the team is ready, so we are ready.
Next, we'll go to Jad Elrada.
Welcome, Marco. How much is really known about MLS in Germany? What is said about MLS, or do they concentrate mostly in a particular team or teams, or the league in general?
It's really hard to say. To be honest, it's not the popular league in Germany, but of course, when players arrived here, like Messi, for example, then they have, of course, other attentions of that. And like I said, I think this league is great. They play a lot of good players in this league, especially in this team. So I see a lot of good games so far, and
Next, we'll go to Rodrigo Serrano.
Hey, Marco, welcome to LA. The negotiations started in May. Were you frustrated that the deal never came, and was the Galaxy the only option? And for Greg, how do you plan to use Marco more in the midfield, more in the attacking as a false 9 or a 9 going forward? Thank you.
Like I said before, I did my decision with my family together that I don't want to continue to play in Europe. And like I said, the first contact with Will was around May. And all the stuff around, like the chats together was really good. I had a good feeling. The vibe was there, and yeah, I don't need so much time to make my decision, and that's why I choose the Galaxy.
Yeah, as far as using Marco in terms of positionally, I think first and foremost, he's a great soccer player and can be versatile, can play within different roles within our group. But for us, and the thing we talked about is certain areas on the field where we would like to get him and like to get him the ball to be able to help us create our attacks, finish our attacks. So I think a lot of times that could be in midfield types of roles. Obviously, as we get working together and we see together what can best benefit our team down the stretch and to win a championship, and those are things that we would consider for sure. But I think his overall quality it speaks for itself and can help our team. And so then in what role we can work through that. But we both have a vision that we talk through and what that can look like.
We'll go ahead to Scott French.
Hey, Marco. Wondering your first impressions of seeing Ricky Pooch, and in what ways you think that you guys can work together, because it seems like there's a little bit of a contrast in styles that may broaden the ability to attack.
Yeah, you can see it straight away. You can see the Barcelona school, the technique, everything around. Yeah, I think this will be good, us together. But it's also important that it's not only me or Ricky. We have a lot of good players in this team, so you can win only championship together, not alone. So this will be also important that we are staying together. It doesn't matter if we have bad times or good times, and then you can win championships.
We'll now transition to German questions. We'll go ahead with Max.
Hey Marco, ich bin der Max Haupt von der
Oh,
Deutschen
nice.
Presseagentur.
I love it. Finally.
Ja, für DPA hier und auch für andere Medien. Mich würden zwei Sachen zum jetzigen Zeitpunkt interessieren. Zum einen, gab es Kontakt mit anderen deutschen Spielern, die schon in der MLS waren, die dir irgendwie ihre Erfahrungen mitgeteilt haben? Und zum anderen, in dieser Phase deiner Karriere oder vielleicht noch mehr in dieser Phase deines Lebens, was ist dir wichtig? Also worauf kommt es dir jetzt noch an?
X is a reporter from the German press agency, DPA, and his first question was about contacts that Marco has with other German players on the MLS, and the second question was on what's important to Marco now in this stage of his career.
Ja, ich hatte natürlich schon mit ein paar Leuten auf jeden Fall Kontakt, einfach mehr auch über den Club zu erfahren, mehr über die Stadt zu erfahren. Weil die Stadt ist natürlich schon groß und wo legt man sich nieder, wo möchte man wohnen mit der Familie zusammen, weil du hier auf jeden Fall immer mit dem Auto sehr viel unterwegs sein wirst. Von daher hatte ich auf jeden Fall nicht nur vom Fußball her, auch außerhalb vom Fußball mit Menschen Kontakt, ja, die mir geholfen haben, die Stadt einfach ein bisschen näher zu bringen, den Club auch näher zu bringen, wofür Galaxy steht. Und zur zweiten Frage, ja, wie ich schon gesagt habe, also mein Ziel war es immer weiter zu spielen, auf ein richtig guten Niveau in ein Team zu stoßen, was richtig gut ist, was talentiert ist, was Ziele hat. Und ja, wie ich schon gesagt habe, ich habe viele Spiele gesehen, Spieler auch angesehen, wie sie sich verhalten in verschiedenen Momenten, weil es einfach wichtig ist, da schon ein bisschen was in Erfahrung zu bringen. Und ja, wie ich schon gesagt habe, also der Club, glaube ich, verdient es, nach so langer Zeit wieder einen Titel zu holen. Und wir sind in einer sehr guten Position, aber es wird noch ein langer Weg und ich bin aber sehr optimistisch. Nee, Basti jetzt nicht, aber Jürgen Klinsmann zum Beispiel, der wohnt hier, hat mir viel über die Stadt erzählt, über den Verein erzählt. Und dann noch 3, 4 Unbekannte. Ja. Okay.
All right. So regarding the first question about contacts he had with other German players around in the MLS, yes, he's been in touch with quite a few Germans in the field of soccer and also beyond. It wasn't only concerning questions regarding soccer, but also regarding life in LA. What's life in LA like? Where he should live with his family? The city is pretty huge. Everyone knows that. So a lot of decisions to be taken, and he relied on a lot of consultancies, consultations with these players and other figures, not only in this field of sports but also beyond. Regarding this second question as to what's important to him, he said that his goal was and is to continue playing soccer, to be on a good team, to have on a good team that has certain goals. Galaxy is one of those teams. Marco says Galaxy should win the title, and the team is good enough to win the title, but it's a long way to go. So he wants to contribute to that, and he's been watching a lot of games by the Galaxy team to get in touch and learn more about the team, learn what the style of playing is like within the team. And regarding names of players he's been in touch with, he hasn't been in touch with Bastian Schweinsteiger. He used to play for Chicago, but he's been in touch with other prominent former soccer players like Jürgen Klinsmann, who's a name with the club, I know.
And we'll finalize our in-person questions with Reinhard and then transition to Zoom.
Ja, Reinhard Spiegelhauer, ARD. Max hat schon ganz viele klasse Fragen gestellt. Ich frage was ganz Persönliches, weil wir haben was gemeinsam. Ich fange auch gerade hier an und habe einen 2-Jahres-Vertrag und ich musste feststellen, oh hoppla, ich muss hier einen Führerschein neu machen mit theoretischer Prüfung, praktischer Prüfung. Hat man dir das vorher verraten?
Ja.
Und, wie geht's dir damit?
Ganz normal. Muss man machen.
Okay, also kein Ding, einfach mal büffeln, die Prüfungsfragen auswendig lernen und dann runterspulen.
Genau.
Alles klar, danke.
So Reinhard works for German radio and TV. He's new to LA too, so he kind of relates to what Marco is going through right now. And he had a personal question with regard to doing stuff like taking a driver's license and getting all the formalities done. So he asked whether Marco needs to do a driver's license, get a new driver's license, and what's that like for him? And Marco said, that's completely normal, take the test.
Thank you. We'll now transition to Zoom questions. Let's go ahead and start with Josh Gessman. I'm going to unmute your line. Go ahead, Josh. Can we hear you, Josh? Testing 1, 2, 3.
First
Give
time
it
anybody's ever been able to not hear Josh. So this is
Let's give it a moment. Let's try, while we're working on Josh, let's go ahead with Andy. We're trying to get the Zoom line open. That was working earlier, but stand by. As a fail-safe, you can text your question over to me and I'll ask it. Stand by. All right, we've got a question texted. Greg, what was, for Greg and Will, what was your first impression when Will said he was available on the market?
I was obviously thrilled that the possibility was even alive. I mean, we've been around the league long enough to know that you hear names of players such as Marco, and there's still a long process that has to take place before these things actually get to this point where we are today. And so I was excited. We talked about it. We talked about fit. We talked about, all the possibilities that it could potentially bring to the team. And then, to be honest, I stepped back, and Will does his work and works with everybody and Marco and his people to get the thing done. And Will was just giving me updates along the way, and and as things got closer and tighter and started to progress, then Marco and I had a conversation, and then after that conversation, you start to really feel like things are getting to kind of to finalization, if you will, because the feeling after that conversation was wonderful and great, and it felt like everything was going to fit, and then it's just a matter of getting things across the line, and that takes a whole nother set of circumstances and work to get done, as everybody knows. So I was really happy, and obviously to be here today, I'm excited about the possibilities with Marco and our group and what we can accomplish.
We've got one from Marco. Sophie from Talk Sport. Marco, did you always envision joining MLS, or were you enticed by seeing players like Olivier Giroud, Messi, Busquets, and Alba joining recently?
Sorry again?
Yeah, one more time. Did you always envision joining MLS, or were you excited to join by seeing players like Hugo Lloris, Olivier Giroud, Messi, Busquets, and Jordi Alba join recently?
Yeah, it's always good, like I said, to have big players in the MLS. So for us, it will be a mission when we play against, for example, Miami. They have good players, but all the teams are very, very strong physically. They want to play football, or how can you say it, football or soccer?
Yeah, you can say football.
Football,
You can say
okay.
We have to adapt.
Okay. So like I said, it's a good league. I'm really, really looking forward. I'm excited to be here finally, and can't wait to play.
And for Greg, what does it mean to you at this point in your career to get to coach a player like Marco?
Well, I mean, anytime a player of Marco's experiences and pedigree comes, I look forward to it, because I think even with all of our players, doesn't matter whether it's Marco or anyone else, I think our desires are the same, which is to win championships, to be the best version of us we can be. I learn from guys like Marco, and all the guys on our team, I learn from them. I hope I can provide things that make them think about the game in different ways as well. So for me, again, I'm personally excited because I think Marco will challenge me in good ways to think about the game, and again, hopefully I can do some of that for him as well. And we build together, because we're all here for the same reason, which is to put more trophies into the trophy case, first to try to get the 6th one and build off of the history of this club.
We're going to try one more time on Zoom. Let's go ahead to Rob. Unmute your line.
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Awesome, thank you so much. Marco, welcome to Los Angeles, and congratulations, Will and Greg, for making the deal happen. Marco, do you have a first message for the very, very passionate LA Galaxy fans?
Yes, of course. Like I said, I just want to say that I'm really, really happy. I will give really everything in training, in the games, that we can be successful with the team. And of course, I'm here to help the team and to win championships. So that's the reason why you play football, and of course that's the reason why I'm here.
And we'll go ahead with Andy Diasa from MLS. Go ahead.
Thanks, Kevin. Marco, I know you probably don't want to talk about this right now because you're just being introduced, but do you have an ideal plan or age that you would like to play into? Or is it just kind of see how it goes in LA, see how your body's feeling, and kind of think about that in the future?
Das habe ich jetzt nicht verstanden.
Willst du bis zu einem bestimmten Alter spielen, oder hast du da konkrete Pläne? Wie lange noch?
No, until my body say, okay, now you have to stop it. But from this point on, I feel really, really, really good. I feel great. I did a lot during my holidays. I'm here since a couple of days, so I trained already with the athletic coaches, and today the first time with the team. So I feel really, really good. So, like I said, I'm ready to go.
And we have one last final question from Sophie. Go ahead, Soph.
You asked my questions, but I'll squeeze one more in just for fun. Has anyone explained to Marco about the traffic on the 405 and the 110 yet?
I watched already a couple of houses, and yeah, it was really, really not far away, but because of the traffic, yeah, we're sitting a lot of times, a lot of hours in the car. But for me, at this point of view, I don't care. When my family will arrive, we will find something that is closer to the training ground, so I'm not worried about it.
And we'll go ahead with Stefan Doring.
One question in German, if it's okay for you guys. Hi Marco, es ist Stefan Döring von der Funke Mediengruppe aus NRW. Du hast gesagt, es war klar für dich, dass du nicht in der Bundesliga und nicht in Europa spielen willst. Ist das eine Entscheidung gewesen aufgrund deiner Verbundenheit zum BVB und seinen Fans oder war einfach klar, dass du generell noch was Neues machen willst?
Von beiden etwas. Also in der Bundesliga gab es für mich gar keine Alternative, zu sagen, okay, ich möchte in der Bundesliga weiterspielen, obwohl die Liga sehr, sehr top ist. Aber natürlich aufgrund der Verbundenheit mit dem BVB gab es da für mich keine Alternative. Und ich wollte einfach mal komplett was anderes machen. Ich hatte einige Mal die Chance in meinem Leben etwas anderes zu machen, bin aber immer geblieben. Und ja, sozusagen, this was the last chance, für mich etwas einfach was anderes zu machen, mit der Familie was anderes zu machen, einfach eine neue Kultur kennenzulernen, Sprache anders, ja, und einfach offen dafür zu sein und dementsprechend, als der erste Kontakt kam, die Idee dahinter, die Vision, die der Verein hat, mit mir zusammen, wie gesagt, habe ich sehr, sehr schnell die Entscheidung getroffen.
So this was a question by Funke Mediengruppe, Mr. Döring. Funke Medien covers several print media, for example, the one that is very famous in Dortmund. The question was if it was a decision taken consciously by Marco not to play in the Bundesliga and in Europe anymore, and the reasons behind that decision. Was it because of his pledge to the BVB as his former club, or was it because there were no alternatives, no real alternatives, or was there other reasons behind it? Or was it just because Marco wanted to try something new? And Marco said, well, it was kind of a bit of all of it. There was no real alternative for him other than to play for the BVB in the Bundesliga, play for Dortmund in the Bundesliga. But he also wanted to do something new with his family. So far, whenever the opportunity came along, he decided not to do it, but this time he wanted to use that opportunity, experience something new with the family, a new culture, a new language, and also play for a club that has a vision, and he enjoys that with the Galaxy very much.
Thank you, Andrea. And with that, that will conclude this portion of the press conference. We will now take photos with Marco, Greg, and Will.
Not yet.
Can you open up? Yeah. And we'll also have Dan Beckerman join as well. And we'll now go with Marco solo. Marco, if you can raise it up. All right. Thank you, guys. And that concludes our press conference. Zoom for joining us. And that concludes our press conference.